Listen closely because this changes everything for the Lakers' playoff run. What we're hearing right now about Luka Doncic could completely flip the trajectory of this team. And if you're a Lakers fan, you need to understand exactly what's happening before it's too late. Before we go any further, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your take in the comments, because what I'm about to break down might divide this entire fan base. So here's the situation. The latest update coming from Shams Charania isn't what Lakers fans wanted to hear. Not even close. According to him, Luka Doncic is on what he described as a slow path in his recovery, and right now, there's no clear timetable for his return. Let that sink in for a second, no timetable. In the middle of a playoff run, now, if you're thinking, okay, maybe he just misses a game or two, that's not what's being implied here. The expectation, at least from Shams, is that if the Lakers take care of business against Houston and move into the second round, Luka might not be available for that next series. And that's where things get complicated, because that statement alone raises more questions than answers. Are we talking about missing Game 1, the first couple of games, or the entire series? That's the part that nobody seems to have clarity on right now, and in the playoffs, that uncertainty can be just as dangerous as the injury itself. Here's what we do know. Luka has started moving on the court again. JJ Redick confirmed that. He's back doing light movement, slowly ramping things up, but he's not yet participating in one-on-one drills, and he's not pushing his body to full intensity. That tells you exactly where he is in the recovery process. He's progressing, but he's not close. Not yet. And that's the key word here, progression. Because in the NBA, especially during the playoffs, things can change fast. One day a player looks weeks away, and suddenly 3 days later he's a game-time decision. We've seen it before, and Lakers fans know this very well after what happened with Austin Reeves. Reeves went from being ruled out indefinitely to suddenly being questionable within a matter of days. That's how unpredictable these recovery timelines can be. So when you hear a report saying Luka could miss an entire series that hasn't even started yet, you have to take that with a grain of salt. At the same time, you can't ignore the reality either. A grade 2 hamstring strain is not something you rush back from. On average, NBA players miss around a month with that kind of injury. Luka is approaching that timeline, but every body reacts differently. Some players take longer, some come back quicker, but the risk of re-injury is always there. And in the playoffs, that risk is amplified. Now think about this from the Lakers' perspective. If Luka isn't available, even for part of the second round, everything changes. Rotations change. Offensive schemes change. Defensive matchups change. The margin for error becomes razor thin. And let's not forget what's waiting for them. If they get past Houston, and let's be honest, they're in a strong position to do that, the next challenge could very well be Oklahoma City, a team that doesn't just beat you, they suffocate you. Elite defense, relentless pace, and the kind of depth that exposes every weakness you have. That's not a series where you want to be missing a player like Luka Doncic, not even for a game. But here's where things get interesting, because despite the report, there are still reasons to believe Luka might come back sooner than expected. He traveled to Madrid for specialized treatment. He's already back in a return-to-play program. The Lakers haven't ruled him out, and if there was zero chance of him returning, they likely would have shut him down by now. That hasn't happened. And in the NBA, what teams don't say can be just as important as what they do say. Now, let's shift the focus for a moment, because while everyone is locked in on Luka, there's another name that could quietly become a game-changer for the Lakers: Austin Reeves. There's growing optimism that Reeves could return as early as Game 5, and if that happens, even in a limited role, that's huge. We're not talking about him dropping 30 points right away. That's unrealistic after missing over a month. But 10, maybe 12, even 15 points? Secondary ball handling, shot creation, that's exactly what this team has been missing. In Game 4, you could feel it. The Lakers lacked that spark, someone who could take pressure off LeBron, create offense when things stalled, and keep the defense guessing. Reeves brings that, even if he's coming off the bench. And honestly, that might be the smartest move. Limit his minutes. Let him ease back into rhythm. Use him strategically, especially in the second half when the game slows down and every possession matters more. That's where his impact could be felt the most. Because make no mistake, the The Lakers are not just trying to survive this round. They're trying to build momentum. They're trying to get their rotation right. They're trying to prepare for a much tougher challenge ahead, and that's why closing out Houston is critical. You don't want this series dragging into 6 or 7 games. You don't want unnecessary wear and tear. You want rest. You want recovery time. And most importantly, you want to give Luka every possible chance to come back. Right in the middle of all this, if you're enjoying this breakdown and you want more real-time Lakers updates like this, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Do you trust this report, or do you think Luka comes back sooner than expected? Because this is where the conversation really starts to heat up. There's a growing divide among fans right now. On one side, you have people who are taking the report at face value. They're already assuming Luka won't be back this postseason. They're bracing for the worst. On the other side, you have fans who aren't buying it. They see the progress. They see the lack of an official shutdown. They remember how quickly situations can change. And they believe Luka will find a way to return, maybe not at 100%, but enough to make an impact. And honestly, both sides have a point. Because the truth is, nobody knows. Not fully, not yet. Even insiders can only report what they're told in the moment, and those situations evolve constantly. What's true today might not be true in 3 days. But here's the bigger picture. This Lakers team has already shown resilience. They've adjusted, they've found ways to win, even when things haven't gone perfectly, and that's what makes them dangerous. If they can get Reeves back into rhythm, if LeBron continues to lead at a high level, and if they can just stay afloat long enough for Luka to return, even if it's later in the second round, that could be the turning point of their entire playoff run. Because a healthy, or even semi-healthy, Luka Doncic changes everything. He elevates the offense. He creates mismatches. He forces defenses to collapse. And in a playoff series, that kind of presence can swing games on its own. So the mission right now is simple, even if the execution isn't. Close out Houston, integrate Reeves, buy time, and hope that Luka's recovery accelerates just enough to give this team a fighting chance in the next round. And as a fan, that's the hardest part. The waiting, the uncertainty, the constant back and forth between optimism and doubt. One report says he's out, another suggests progress, and you're stuck trying to figure out what to believe. But that's playoff basketball. That's the NBA. It's unpredictable. It's intense. And sometimes it all comes down to timing. Before we wrap this up, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your thoughts below, because this situation is far from over, and your take matters here. So, now I'll leave you with this. If the Lakers do make it to the second round, and Luka Doncic is still not ready for Game 1, do you believe this team has enough to survive without him until he returns? Or is that the moment everything starts to fall apart?